Welcome back to the show. You're on with Sipping and Tripping. You are on with Jovan Too Good
and AC Starks.
All right. Welcome back. We are back here in the studio. And today we're gonna be doing a few different things, but right now we're gonna address a big thing that's in our society today, which is men's mental health.
Something that does not get talked about this particular month. So I am actually
actually it does get talked about.
It don't get talked about as much as you think we get talked about.
It gets talked about, just not for heterosexual men.
Oh damn, you just hit it heavy with that. Like, can we get a drink in first before we start going that route?
What's wrong with saying heterosexual men?
I mean, because you know you know where we going with this, but I'm not trying to take it that way until I get like a few sips in me first. But
see, okay, here's the big thing. What I've learned about being I took some psychology classes.
Right.
If you make things a big deal, other people make it a big deal. Okay?
Right.
So your response to what I just said basically reaffirms that there's a problem. And there's not really a problem.
Bro, I'm just saying, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We already about to go. You know what? Let's
just give me my Stella.
let's just start with it. Oh my God. So you're doing with Stella again?
Yeah, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We drinking.
Oh man, that shit crazy.
So, did anybody acknowledge that?
What, that is 10 o'clock in the morning?
10 o'clock in the morning, we drinking. But you know what? I got some water right here.
That's
Chase
cool.
it down.
You get your Stella. I keep my Jameson because you know, hair on your chest, Jameson is the best. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Too Good, as a man who, you know, is a father, husband, and I'm pretty sure you have a lot of challenges that you face being a man. And, you know, in your family, do they really think about your mental health?
It's not their job to think about my mental health.
Why is that? Why do you feel like that?
Because it's my job to think about my mental health.
But them are people that, you know, that care about you and love you. So you think they would be more concerned about, they would have some consideration of how you feel, where you stand at mentally as well. Do y'all do mental check-ins? Do they do mental check-ins with you?
We do mental check-ins, but here's what I've come to learn is that at the end of the day, and this is especially as it pertains to women, that women are more opportunistic, right? So they are more like, they love based off of like what you can provide.
I don't think that's necessary.
Chris Rock said this in a stand-up one time. He said, the only people that get love is women, children, and dogs.
But a
man is only loved under the condition that he provides something, which is so true.
Right, I understand that, but you got to understand how Chris Rock looked too. You know, Chris Rock, you know, like no Diddy, but Chris Rock ain't like, you know, the best looking brother out there. Even though he said, like, even in his,
so he has to look decent in order to be treated right.
I mean,
is that what you're saying?
I mean, that's no, I'm not. Well, I guess when you're going like that, yeah, I guess I kind of put it in that perspective. You know, because like even just that. Wait, let me take this back. Not just men, but women too. You know what I'm saying? If you're not decent or, you know, like beautiful, you do get treated way different than those people who be like, okay, he good looking. Oh damn, he fine. And then you got the people who be like, oh man, you know what? Maybe after a few drinks, then I might, you know, ooh, at the bam. But you got the people who be like, nah, I never do it, or I regret it. Them the people that get treated, and those are the people that got to get, you know, put the extra effort in, as far as like adding to what they worth. You remember like how I told you, when we first did this, right? How I told, like my mom was like, you know, you ugly, you got to make them laugh. Remember I told you that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me say, like in high school, I was like the super skinny kid. Yeah. Yes, I know. It's me being skinny.
You were skinny.
I was super skinny.
I can't picture that.
I can't even picture when I'm looking in the mirror now. But yeah, I was like super skinny. And, you know, and then, you know, I didn't have like the best confidence in myself. So what I had to do is I had to adapt to making women laugh. And a lot of women out here, they do want to have a good time. But a lot of women out here want a man that can provide and be funny, but not just based off some of the things that like materialistic things like cars and all that stuff. Some women just want a man that do like the simple things, is like consideration and such, and like consideration and, you know.
Let me interject, okay? Because you kind of going on a rant here, all right? But let me give you some insight to this whole thing.
All right, go ahead.
As you start to gain success, as you start to ascend, right, in your popularity, as you start to become financially stable, as you start to make more money, you're going to break through different tiers of women. You're going to break through different tiers of attractiveness, right? So you're going to have the low, you're going to have the average, you're going to have the above average, and you're going to have the tens. And those are the baddies.
Okay.
Right? So your perception of everything that you're saying right now is all fine and good. This is what women want. Women want a man, this and that. But you might be talking about women who are probably above average in the eyes of society. They ain't baddies. They ain't tens, because if you get those baddies and those tens, they're gonna have a different perspective. Just like men are gonna have different perspectives on things, right? A successful man who's making money and who has his shit together and who's running businesses and doing all this other stuff, he's gonna have a different mindset than a person who's a brokey, who don't really have much money, who's working a regular job or probably working at 7-Eleven or something. They're gonna have two different mentalities. So do you think? My question to you, AC, is that do you think that your perception right now is not really expanded to where it needs to be because of your status as a man?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you no, because I am. I would say I'm not gonna lie. I am an average male. I have steady income. I have a nice apartment. Steady income. I have a car. I have food in my refrigerator. I have everything, that average the average man will have. Cook, clean.
Would you say you're middle class?
Huh?
Are you middle class?
Yeah, I'm middle class. I would say that.
Yeah, middle class, right?
Yeah, I would say that.
Like what part of middle class? Like lower middle class or higher middle class?
I would give myself lower middle class.
Okay.
I'm like slowly but surely.
Which is still good, by the way.
Right. So, by me being the average person, my confidence level now, I feel like I can get from the bottom all the way to the top, because I had before. So I don't necessarily think about it's about what you have. It's just your personality and your character.
So you've gotten to the top.
I've gotten to the top.
Of the baddies.
Yeah. I've got one. I got a baddie before.
Okay, why aren't they here right now?
Cause they wanted more things that I'm not gonna say that. You was finna catch me up on that one. You was finna catch me up on that one. It's not the fact that they wanted more things that I can provide. It's just their mentality and their mental level needed more help and structure than what I can give, what I can do and what I can give them. Like, especially like, in my younger days when I was pulling baddies and I was still going through my own mental struggles. I can't sit here and help somebody if I can't help myself. Like, I was like in the lapse. I was in my lapse in my therapy. I'm out here drinking, smoking weed, trying to figure out how I can make myself feel better about myself. And then you got somebody else who wants to, pour their issues and their problems on me. There's some things that I can help, but there's not everything I can't help. Like I say, like, hey, look, we can talk, and I can be like, hey, maybe you should go to therapy. And then they're, what you trying to say? I'm crazy? I'm like, no, I ain't trying to say.
Yeah, bitch, you crazy. Yeah. Like, what?
I mean, but that's the thing. But like, not just women, but men too. They think that going to therapy means that you're crazy. No, therapy is like an outlet, for men who don't have nobody to talk to. Not men, but just people who don't have nobody to talk to. And that's why I would literally explain what therapy is. Therapy does not mean you crazy. Crazy is when you just fucking crazy and you're going in a mental institution and they're giving you pills. That's crazy.
So where you going with all this? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, we talking about men's mental health. No,
we was talking about baddies. That's what we was talking about.
We interjected baddies and men's mental health. What I'm saying is like the badder they are, the more problems that they got. Just as much as
my thing is that, okay, so you might be able to attract those baddies, right? Because you have something that maybe most men don't have, which is charisma. Or your sex game might be good, right? And so those baddies, yeah, they'll go for you. But I'm going to tell you the same thing that I would tell these women. Mm-hmm. And that's that these women will fuck you, but they won't marry you. Because they're looking for somebody who can provide security. They're looking for somebody who's strong, who's fit, who's competent, right? Who has a network. They're looking for all these different things, right? And especially the baddies, because they are the most valuable. They're in their prime at a certain point. And so they're like, okay, I'm in my prime and I'm young and I'm beautiful. Like, I need to attract a man who has who checks all these boxes versus somebody who's not a baddie, who's probably an average girl. They're going to be able to take what they can get.
So what's the first thing you said before you started talking about all that? You said they will fuck you but not marry you, right?
Yeah.
Now look me in my eye. Men don't do the same thing?
I never said they didn't.
No, I'm just saying, but you making it seem like women just do that thing. Just do that.
I told you. Okay. See, this is where your listening skills need to come in at. Because I literally told you that I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell these women.
See, you probably did say that. Nah, you know what? Sometimes, when you just say some shit, it just triggers me wanting to just, like I'm just a happy, so lucky person. And then I get on this podcast with you. And then next thing you know, you talking about some stuff. And I just be like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I got to keep you in check. I have to keep you in check. I don't mean it like that. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm like, hold on now.
No,
mental health month.
As brothers, as homies, we have to keep each other in check. You know what I'm saying? Like
big facts.
We have to spit facts, and we have to tell it how it is. We can't sugarcoat shit. You know what I'm saying? We can't worry about feelings and things of that nature. And we literally have to, like, as men, we have shit to do, and we have things that we need to get done, and we need to just. I'm not your girl.
On that note.
I'm not your girl. I'm not your mom. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, straight to your face, and then, we can disagree later on, and we can talk about it.
On that note, how often do you check in on your homies? Just do like a mental check-in. Do you ever do mental check-ins on your homies?
Mental check-ins? No.
Like, why don't you ever do
mental check-ins? Why would I do mental check-ins on my homie?
Well, just to see how they doing. Like, where they at? Like, are you good? Like, you good?
Oh, I mean, like that. That's different. But if you mean that, am I going to check in with them like, hey, are you sad today? No, I'm not going to do that.
No, we ain't talking about that. Like, hey, bro, how you been? Like, it's been a long time since we talked. How you been? Yeah,
I do that. Yeah.
You catch up with them and you talk about some stuff and,
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I feel as though that as men, we need to do more of as far as like doing those check-ins. I know like there's some people out here who do them, but I don't think like a lot of men actually sit there and do it unless like you like super cool. But even just like a person that you just like an acquaintance with, just to just check in and just be like, hey man, how you been? I ain't heard from you in a long time. You want to catch a beer or something like that? Get a beer? I was like, catch a beer. Get a beer or something like that.
Who drinks beer? You talking about putting hair on your chest? Like
that's anything beer is. Beer put some hair on your chest.
Beer put hair on your chest?
Beer put hair on your chest. Anything but Malibu put hair on your damn chest.
Speaking of beer, I really hate when women drink beer.
You know something?
That is so unattractive. So unattractive. Did you like girls drinking beer?
I'm a little 50-50 on that.
50-50. What's so attractive about a girl drinking beer?
I mean, it's like, at the time when y'all drinking, it's like, it's not like that much of a big deal in the time when y'all drinking. But if she like drinking like red steel reserves, or you just catch her drinking a 40, then I'd be like, hey yo, something, it's not cute. But they have like a little Heineken or Corona, you know what I'm saying? Come on. You know about them Coronas. You know about them Coronas.
Yeah, I know about the Coronas.
Exactly. Yeah, the Coronas with the little lime in it. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily nothing with, wrong with a woman drinking a beer, but I think when you drinking malt liquor in a 40, I think that,
but
kind of along the lines like
that. But back to the topic of men's mental health, right? So the thing with this is that the problem is that it's mixed in with Pride Month, right? Men's mental health. And why is it mixed in with Pride Month? I think we should be asking ourselves that question. And it's not, and the reason it's mixed in with Pride Month, and it's a funny story. I'll actually tell the story real quick. I walked into Dunkin' Donuts, right? Getting my morning coffee, my black coffee and everything like that. No sugar, no cream, because I'm a psychopath. That's what I do. And I see this donut over there, and I was like, damn, that donut look good. I'm going to order that donut. That shit look juicy, right? And then I go to read the label, like, yeah, can I get a sprinkle with Pride? Whoa, what? Oh, can I get the sprinkle with Pride? He's like, yeah. The guy was like, he's behind the counter. He's like, yeah, I know what it is. I know what you're thinking. It's just a brand, though. It's just a brand. I'm like, okay. But this Pride shit is getting out of control, man. That's number one. It's getting out of control. I mean, even though the donut was good as hell, it was still good. It was sweet, but.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
This Pride shit is getting out of control.
This is the stuff that got you banned last time. This got you suspended last time doing some shit like this.
Yeah, it did get me suspended. Let me calm down.
But look, I don't necessarily understand why Men's Mental Health Month and Pride Month, come hand in hand. I don't know.
Because it's not meant.
Maybe
it's not meant for heterosexual men. Or it's meant for homosexual men.
Or maybe it's just meant for...
It's meant for their mental health, not our mental health.
I mean, it could be. It could be for that point. It could be for both. You know what I'm just saying? I don't necessarily make the rules of when is, what type
when
of...
They ever... Okay,
month.
when there's ever any coverage on Men's Mental Health and Pride Month in the same month, do they ever talk about heterosexual men? Or they talk about... Or their immediate response is, there's people in the Pride community, like, transgenders or, homosexual men. I gotta be careful with the words I use. And they struggle with their mental health, right? But they don't talk about heterosexual men, straight men like ourselves, and our mental health and what we go through. And why don't they talk about that? Why? Because it's not important. It's not important.
But this is why we need to make it important. But we
don't need to make it important.
We do need to make
absolutely not.
Yes, we do need to make.
We do not.
We do need to make mental health.
We don't need to make men's mental health important.
Yes,
why?
we do.
Because we are men and we have duty. We have things that we have to do.
Are human.
We have people to provide for.
But you are still human too.
We don't have time to just sit there and cry.
How can you provide for someone if every day of your life you feel like you want to kill yourself? How do you feel like every day? How do you feel like you can even potentially even do anything if you are continuously depressed?
Why do you feel depression? Why do you feel depressed? You need to ask yourself that question. Why are you even depressed to begin with? Because men are built to handle stress more than women are. I can understand women feeling that way, but why do men need to feel that way?
Everybody has their own reasons for feeling depressed. It's not everything has to do with just I'm just saying, not saying that you were saying this. Not everything has to do with money or materialistic things. Men probably go through depression because loss of parents, sexual abuse. A lot of men probably go physical abuse. It's a lot of things that men can be depressed about that we don't talk about because they don't allow us to talk about it. Because they feel as though, like you said, as
you feel
men,
like that makes you weak though?
What to talk about how I feel? Or to not talk about how I feel?
To sit there and be depressed you don't feel like that's a sign of weakness?
No, I don't. Because I know I've been through depression. I get depressed, but I know for a fact I do have to get up. But the only way you're going to get through something is the only way you're going to get through it is by going through it.
You believe that those times you were depressed?
Yes, I do believe those are times I was depressed.
Why would you give power to anything? Why would you give power to anything that takes power away from you?
Because I'm human, bro. And
that has nothing to do with you being human. My question is again, why would you give power to anything? That's not even just depression. But why would you give power to anything that takes power away from you?
I mean, depression is something that this is going to happen in life. There's something that you will not be able to avoid no matter how much you try to avoid it. Depression will happen. Sadness will happen. And the more
sadness will happen.
Yes, but then the more you...
Why would you give power to it?
Well, because you have to embrace it.
You have to embrace being sad.
You have to embrace it just as much as you have to embrace being happy.
What don't you think that holds you back though?
No, it's a natural balance. Because how do you know if you sit here and talk about and try to be positive all your life, when something negative happens, how would you know how to react to it? How would you know how to overcome that negativity?
You are going to know how to react to it. You know how you're going to sit there and be sad and you're going to cry. That's how you're going to be. That's how you react to it.
Right. But guess
what is going to happen at that point?
Wait, hold on. No. But guess what? When you sad, when you cry and you embrace it, you will get over it because you have to, once again, you have to go through it to get through it. And once you understand what makes you cry. You understand what makes you sad. So you can know what to change.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
You sure?
But here's the thing though. Here's what I'm trying to understand.
I don't like these glasses. I feel like these glasses bring them out the personality that's in you and me. I'm supposed to be the happy-go-lucky. I don't like these things. But go ahead.
We'll take them off then.
No, I ain't got my regular glasses.
But do you think, okay, and I'm not just trying to create a moment, okay? Mm-hmm. But I genuinely feel, and I had to do a lot of soul searching around this, and I had to do a lot of thinking around this. The emotions that we, as men, I'm not talking about women, because we're very different. The emotions that we take on as men,
all right,
the sadness and things of that nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they really have anything to do with much of anything at the end of the day? Because who really cares? but us. Nobody cares but us. Nobody cares about, hold on, I'm gonna let you finish. Nobody cares about our emotions. Nobody cares about anybody's emotions more than the person that's actually going through it. People may have sympathy.
Okay.
Right? And, oh, it's okay. You know, you're going to be okay. They might offer some solutions, but what's going to happen? They have to go back to thinking about the rent that they got to pay.
Right.
They have to go back to thinking about the kids they have to care for.
More stuff.
They have to go back to thinking about their own stuff.
Right.
We still have to live with that. We still have to go through the rest of the day being sad and shit and saying to ourselves like, oh, you know, this painful thing that's happening to me. So do they really have much to do with anything if nobody really, at the end of the day, really cares but us?
Okay. Let me ask you this. Why do you care about what other people care about? Why do you care about what other people think? Why? What is another person's?
You shouldn't care. That's the point that I'm making.
All right. So when you are sad, so why do you give a fuck if the world is telling you, or the world is telling you that you can't be sad as a man? Why do you give a fuck about that?
I don't give a fuck about it.
So then it's okay to be sad. It's okay. It is literally okay, because as long as it's you that you have to worry about. It is,
because it takes power away from you. It keeps you stagnant.
Oh my gosh. You
talking about depression and things of that nature. All of those things. What's gonna help you overcome that? It's about changing your state of mind, right? I don't know if you're familiar with Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. He's about changing your state of mind, right? Honestly, it should take you have a problem, it should take you maybe, you know, to marinate on it for probably about 90 seconds and then make a decision. Make a decision to move forward.
But not
make
everybody
a decision
moves,
to do something different.
Not everybody knows how to,
because
move
it's a
like
state
that.
of mind.
But that's not.
So we're talking about men and their mental health.
But
changing your state of mind.
But you're not considering past traumas. You're not considering those things. People have traumas that they went through that cannot allow them to think and process at an accelerated rate as you're saying.
Okay, and that's why I'm telling them right now. So that's why they should be listening to this. If you're listening to this right now and you know you're a little bitch, then basically what I'm telling you is that nobody cares.
That's crazy.
Suck it up, because
crazy.
at the end of the day, nobody really cares. If you're looking for somebody to care, they really don't care. They have sympathy, and that's a big difference. They have sympathy rather than care. Because if they really, really care, they're going to help you through those emotions day and night until you actually get over it. And therapists are some of the most bullshit people that I've ever met before. Because they will sit there with you and they will basically co-sign your bias. They will co-sign you being sad and things of that nature, rather than telling you, get your shit together. If you feeling depressed, maybe go to the gym and then maybe you'll feel better. Maybe you're depressed because you don't have a six pack. Maybe you're depressed because, I don't know, you don't have any money. Okay, go figure out how to make some more money. And then I guarantee you're not going to be depressed. Because whatever's making you depressed, you ain't getting the girls, you ain't get that promotion or whatever, that job. Fuck that job. Go start a business. Do your own shit. Fuck that bitch. Okay? You can go get another one. And I guarantee you're going to feel much better about yourself, because then you're going to feel like a powerful man. You're going to feel like you conquering shit. And then wait, depression, who? What? When? Where?
You done?
I'm done.
You done? You got that out? You feel good about yourself for getting that out?
It's because I'm right.
And what makes you feel like that you're right, Mr. Javon? Too good?
Because that power that I just talked to you about, I feel it right here, right now. And it's impossible for me to be depressed in this very moment because of the shit that I know and the shit that I've learned, and I know and I see the vision.
Now, is this some of the shit that you learned, or that you know, well, I'm gonna take this back. Like, it's something that you learned or you listened to from people like Andrew Tate, right?
Yeah, Andrew Tate, spot on.
So, like, people who actually went to jail for, like, you know, sexual assault and shit like that, for sexually abusing women and shit like that. So the same people that you are learning from, what you thought he was in jail for that shit? Didn't he go to jail for that shit, like some shit like that?
People go to jail all the time for things that they didn't do.
But I'm just saying, but do you, like, these people that you're listening to are these same people who are actually more fucked up than you actually think out here? And those words that you're spilling, yes, that is maybe true. You are definitely right. But the only way that another way that you will really do overcome and be a more powerful man is that you do embrace these things. You embrace these feelings.
I've listened.
Hey, wait, no, hell no.
This is not a promotion.
I just sat here and let you go through a whole speech calling men bitches and all that shit. Ain't no man a bitch. Ain't nobody a bitch for embracing how you feel. Ain't no man a bitch for embracing and telling a woman how he feels. Ain't no man a bitch for sit there and being and trying to learn how to overcome his depression, overcome his sadness. That shit right there is the same shit that's trickled down for generations. Is not taking care of yourself and not overcoming your past traumas.
That's what I'm arguing. No, I'm saying take care of yourself.
No, you're basically saying fuck all the shit, ignore all the shit, keep moving on. Instead of, that's what basically you just, that's how I took it. I don't know how everybody else would take it. Everybody, probably be some men out here that be like, hey, he right. I'm gonna go ahead and get it. Hey, there are some men out here that will have the same mindset that you have, just as much as there are some men like me who will have to understand that there's some things that deep down inside that you have to work out in order to see change. Because if you keep pushing those shits inside, it's gonna come out, and it's gonna come out in a very negative way, and it always happens. Like if a man who is not, like with men with sexual assault, the man who's been molested as a kid, if he's not having that time to go in and like sit there and took the time to get therapy on that shit. That's how motherfuckers become, them sexual predators and stuff. Or just like how men who has been beaten through their life, they feel as though that they want to beat on other shit because they never had the chance to sit there and go to therapy and get through that shit. And all that shit has been blocked down, and all that shit has been just, they don't give a fuck about what happened to you. And that's how that's how all that shit come about. Because men find other ways, or like not men, just people find other ways to express the outlet of the stuff that happened to them in their past traumas. So by you, this is my opinion, by you telling people to push it down, keep moving on, and not embrace the sadness, is just delaying the inevitable of that. You're gonna have to deal with it eventually. So why not try to deal with it and then try to move on from it? Why not try to fix it and then move on from it? Why as men, we always have to keep beating our shit down, putting our shit last before we can actually get into working on ourselves? In reality, that shit does not want to make you happy. Yeah, that shit sound good. Like, you know what, man? Fuck that bitch. That bitch made you sad. That bitch made you sad. Shit. If you ain't got a car, shit, you know what, man? I ain't got no car. I'm sad. I ain't got no Lamborghini. I ain't sad. Maybe sometimes materialistic things is not where it's always needed to be. Maybe you need to learn how to embrace other shit. I'm not saying like you don't go get it. I'm just saying like maybe you have to get somewhere to get somewhere. Maybe you have to settle for the Honda before you get the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, like I said, you have to embrace those feelings in order to get on. So that those feelings that you carry of resentment that you will have resentment towards women if you're not sitting there dealing with your feelings with that woman. And then next thing you know, you out here fucking random bitches and hurting other bitches. I can't use the B. I'm using the B word. Women. But long story short, I feel as though
Take the glasses off, man. He's turning into me. Take the glasses off.
Long story short, I just feel like that you have to embrace those things. You have to learn how to fix yourself inside before you can go ahead and just change your whole. You fix yourself inside, then it will change your perspective. Maybe it'll humble you a little bit more. Maybe you will see a different light instead of just being like angry or whatever. And what you sound like, I hate you. I hate to say this, brother. I don't hate you. I love you, man. You're my boy. I love you. I don't mean to say that, but excuse me. No, I don't like that side of you sometimes, because to me that shit sound like you're a man that's hurting. You're a man that's hurting inside because you haven't embraced some shit.
No, I'm actually very happy. That's actually an interesting assessment because I'm actually very happy. The person that I am today, you know, I've always said this, and I was talking to my homie about this the other day. And the quote that the philosophy that I always live by is, would you rather see yourself die as a hero or live long enough to become a villain?
And on that note, I think that's something that we can leave to the audience to let us know. But once again, thank you for tuning in to Sipping and Tripping. I'm AC Starks.
And Jovan Too Good.
Subscribe, and we out.
Peace.